Hey guys, Jason here again with another video from the Huntress CTF challenges. I wanted to go ahead and try to get some more videos out as I have time to do this. So as you can see on the screen, I've done some cleanup. I've actually named this text file to show its videos so that way I have a better tracking of it. I'm trying to keep things more tidy, more clean, so that way you guys can have a better viewing experience. So we're going to go ahead and kind of skip what I talked about last time, which I was working on Snake Eater. I am still working on Snake Eater. There is kind of an issue with one of the ways to solve the challenge, so I'm still working on that. It's a static analysis. That's the problem. There could be some issues that could force me to kind of skip it for now because it's ultimately not that big of a deal. It is kind of a learning experience for myself as well because there's something involved with this program. Even though it's rated as an easy, doing a static analysis on this is actually somewhat difficult if you don't know what you're doing, which I obviously don't know what I'm doing. So we're going to go ahead and skip that. I promise, though, that will be the next video because the dynamic analysis and the web, those steps are perfectly done at this point, or at least for the most part, they're done. And that's going to be the next video after I record this video. For now, what I'm going to focus on is Opposable Thumbs, the M365 series that we have. There's 4 challenges in that. And then Land Before Time, because I know Land Before Time kind of pissed a lot of people off. I understand that. There is some weird stuff about it, but I'm going to go over the 2 major ways that I found it. Technically, there are 3 ways to do it. It is a steganography type challenge, but I couldn't utilize ZSeg correctly. But we'll discuss that in the video as we go along. So let's just go from there, and then. Quick update on the videos here and also the challenges. So it is October 18th, so they did release a hard challenge down here, and I will show this here, called the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Tokyo Drift. Interesting naming convention. So I actually solved that already. I was able to kind of take a look at it, and it will be its own video, but it's going to be at a later time. It's going to be at a future time to do that video. But they did start releasing hard ones, so just keep that in mind. And then some of them down here. So I have not solved these on my own yet. I haven't gone with the walkthroughs that are provided for me on that. Sometimes I try to do them without the walkthroughs because I want to see how increasingly difficult some of these can be depending on my own skill sets. So these will be in a video at a later time. However, I haven't had a lot of gripes about this. I know Babel can be weird. I saw in the Discord that there was some issues with that, so we'll take a look at that whenever I get a chance, probably this weekend, hopefully, but we'll see. So for right now, I do have planned for this video to be these 3. Technically, there's 4 in 1, but we'll discuss that. And then Snake Eater and Indirect Payload, which also was released, I think, today. I have a team member currently solving this, which is why it's currently not submitted yet, but that has been solved as well, so that will be part of Snake Eater, because I feel like those 2 can go hand in hand with those discussions. They're not going to be that long. And then video 12 will be LOL's number 3. I do have the steps for that. It's kind of difficult to kind of discuss what that is involved with, mostly because there's some obfuscation behind it in terms of like OSINT. So we'll discuss that, and then the next video after that will be Tragedy Redux. I'll explain what happened to both, because we have an original Tragedy which didn't come out correctly, so they reduxed it, they resubmitted it, but we'll talk about that, and then press play on tape as well. So that will be video 13. And with that being said, I will stop with the video updates, and we'll go ahead and start the first challenge for this video. So I'm going to go ahead and minimize that, and the first challenge is going to be called Opposable Thumbs. So let's go take a look at this, and it's going to be an easy challenge by John Hammond, and it states we uncovered a database. Perhaps the flag is right between your fingertips. Haha, right? So let's go ahead and open up our Huntress stuff here. And as you can see, I have a folder all on its own for all the challenges. So that way it's not in my downloads folder. You guys don't have to worry about that. It's a little cleaner to not worry about what I'm revealing. But let's go ahead and take a look at what we have here. I have it around here somewhere, I believe. Here it is, thumb cache. So it's a thumb cache 256.db. So we could try to attempt to open this, so I can do like open with Notepad, and we see that it's not really a human readable text. That's fine. But we see that there's something called CMMX. Ultimately, it's not readable. So what is this file, we might be asking. So let's go ahead and close this out because we don't need it. So what is this file? So if we kind of take a look at the properties, it says it's a DB file, right? So we have no real details, no real information about it. But if we do a research for a DB file, right? So we can like look at Stack Overflow, for example. It says they have a DB extension. Actually, let's not look at Stack Overflow. Let's go back here. Let's see here. There should be something to discuss that. Let's see. Live wire. It's storing some kind of, so basically it's a structured database is really what it is. It comes down to, right? So we got to figure out how to open that. Well, let's see what we can do to try to open it. Since it's a database file, we could technically upload it to like a SQL-like type reader to try to extract that data, because it technically is a database. But we also see in the middle here that Windows Thumbnail caches use this as a file. So basically all your little icons, so let me bring up a folder here real quick. All these icons are technically pulled from a database. So what I mean by that is if I right click on, let's say, this folder and go to properties, and I go to customize, I can change the icon here. So I can click on this and it's pulling it from a shell, but you could do a database. A lot of these icons, like the reason why you don't see these in like a folder of a bunch of images taking up space is because they're condensed into a database. This is what this looks like. So let's go ahead and cancel out of this, and we'll cancel out of this as well. What is this doing now? We'll close this out. So the question now comes to play, how do we view this? Like, we got to have a way to view this, right? Well, there is a kind of a free tool called Thumbs DB Viewer. I'll bring this up, right? So if we click on it, there's also, I think, an extension, which may or may not work. It doesn't work right now, but if we click on this, there is a kind of a GitHub repository, but it's github.io, where you can load a Thumbs DB and it will show you all the information stored within. So instead of this one though, we have to pay attention to the very top. It says looking for thumbcache.db files. So there's two types of thumb files. There's thumb.db and thumbcache. If we remember on here, it says thumbcache, right? So let's go ahead and go to his thumbcache, and this is where you would download his viewer for this. Luckily, there's a tool for this, but I already have this tool. Let's go back, and I have it right here. So let's go ahead and extract this. Yep, Windows doesn't want me to run. That's fine. I'm going to bring this over here, and we're going to go ahead and open inside. Let's go to here, here, and here. All right, look at that. So we have a bunch of stuff loaded. Pretty cool. But how are we going to figure out what is the flag? Well, we could technically extract it. The other thing we can actually do is hide blank entries. The only things that matter to us are these, because the flag is not going to be in a blank entry. It's not going to be 0 bytes. There's going to be data inside of it. So let's go ahead and just hide these blank entries. And we're going to go ahead and try to extract all 5 of these. So we should have tools and then save all. We're going to go ahead and go back to, where is it, right here, here. Okay, so extracted in data. Let me make sure it's there. It is. I'll bring this back into the Huntress CTF folder. All right. Let's go back into here. Go ahead and close this real quick. And we have a new folder. Oh, that's for the snake. Where did they go? I thought I pulled them in here, so one second. Okay, and we're going to say this is extracted. All right, let's go ahead and open this up. And here we have a flag, human after all. That is the flag for this challenge. So we could take a look at other stuff. It doesn't really matter. These are just like, they're icons. They're actually not folders. They look like folders, right? But they're not. It's a very simple, kind of silly, easy challenge. You just got to kind of know what you're doing and what you're looking for. Obviously, the first thing you always want to do is you always want to pay attention to the name of the file. You always want to pay attention to the hints, which is database. Technically, it is a database. I wouldn't per se say it's a very advanced database, but it is a database. And it's a condensed, it's like a zip file, but configured to be used in a certain manner. So that was Opposable Thumbs. Not too bad in my opinion. I didn't mind it too much. So let's go ahead and move on to the next video, which will be M365. This one requires the use of a container, and in my case, I would use putty. So let's go ahead and bring this up real quick, because we are going to SSH into a server that's going to run a kind of a container with some PowerShell capabilities. And I need to emphasize that it says some. It's not a full-fledged Windows system that we're connecting to. We're actually connecting to like a Linux box. And it just has some PowerShell extendability towards it. So let's go ahead and follow these instructions here. So it's going to take us to a deployable container. There's no flag for this challenge itself. Connect with SSH, and it gives us a user pass, and then it tells us to connect like this. Now with putty, it's a little different. So let's go ahead and do it our way, which is going to be chow.ctf.games, and we're going to go and put the port number in, which the port number should be, there it is, 31112. Okay, and we're going to connect as SSH because it's still over SSH protocol. Let's go ahead and open this up. Accept. All right, so now it's going to ask us to log in. So let's go to user, and we're going to say user pass. And now we are in, and you can see that there is a PowerShell terminal that we're running with, or at least it's utilizing PowerShell in some form. And then right here it says load AAD internals, please wait, ignore errors, cannot find path. So it says ignore errors of missing DLLs, and we have a missing DLL right there. So AAD internals, it says version 0.9.2 by Dr. Azure AD, Nestori Cinema. And I apologize if I do not pronounce that name correctly. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and look this up. So let's go AAD internals. And there is a GitHub on this. It has all this information here. Okay, so it looks like it's some type of module to be used with inside Linux. Cool. I'm going to see if I can find this, which is the commands. Because I have a feeling this is going to be important. I'm not 100% familiar with Azure AD because that's what AAD stands for. But I do know there are commands out there, and that's what we're probably going to be using in this challenge. So let's go ahead and go back here. So we're done with this. Now we're going to go down to where the actual challenges are, which are in this folder, right? And so we'll go for the first one. It says for this challenge, you can connect to a PowerShell core instance. Note that this is running in a Linux-based Docker container. It's not full-blown Windows. Cool. So let's see here. When you connect for the very first time, blah, 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 blah. Welcome to the hackable tenant. Can you find any juicy details like perhaps the street address this organization is associated with? So we are connected to a module running AAD internals, which means that there is probably some type of sudo, not the word actual sudo for Linux, but like some type of like quasi domain that's going on, right? So if it's a domain, in my mind, when it comes to like an Active Directory domain, and it's asking for organizational details, we're going to look for commands that replicate that information. Now, when it says look for stuff, I'm going to associate that with PowerShell Git. Now, with PowerShell, if you know anything about PowerShell, and I might be misquoting this because I'm still kind of a beginner at PowerShell, but there are verb noun protocols, right? So what that means is that you're going to have a verb in the front and you're going to have a noun, so a dash noun, and that's the structure of PowerShell commands in general. And your verbs can be anything from like get to put to random. I can't think of more verbs than that, I guess. But basically, get, set, those are verbs, and then you'll have a noun, which is like the structure of the program itself, or the command itself to retrieve that information. So let's go back to documentation here, right? So I'm looking for something that's going to get me information about this domain. So we see here there is get AAD int tenant domain. Let's see if that gives me anything real quick, right? And just to notice, like I have not messed with this. This is my first time messing with this, and the only reason why I'm creating a video on this is because I feel like this is going to be super easy to do. I don't think these commands are going to be very hard to do compared to the other ones I haven't done yet. So we got get AAD internal. It's going to be int tenant domain. Let's see what that gives us. Oh, it wants a tenant ID. I don't have a tenant ID. Let's try something else. Let's see here. And we're looking for get command specifically, right? So I'm looking for something that's going to give me information about this. And there's something that says get AAD int company tags, company information. Let's try the company information. I feel like that's going to be better. So let's do that. AAD int. I'm also going to test to see if this is case sensitive. I don't think it is, but we'll see here in a second. Company information. Boom. And boom. Let's expand this a little bit because we need to. Let's see here. Flag. Bam. All right, so we got the first flag. That's perfect. So that was the first flag, was to get the street address this organization was associated with. Let's move on to the next one. This tenant looks like to have some odd conditional access policies. Can you find a weird one? Okay, well, this one's highlighted, so I'm assuming it's going to like a Microsoft location to explain this. And we have conditional access. Okay, I don't want to get too deep into how this works. I'm just looking for possible commands. And I don't see any, and I don't really want to read about this because I'm almost assuming there's going to be a command for this. So let's look for, what are we looking for? Conditional access. Conditional access, there's a command for it. So it's a straight up just get the condition, like I knew there had to be something on that. So AD int conditional access policies. I cannot spell. Perfect. All right, let's take a look at, oh, and here we go. Look at this. So there's not a lot. It looks like I'm assuming just two, or maybe even one. Looks like two, but here's a weird one, and there's the flag right there. So let's see here. Nothing out of the ordinary that I see. So again, I'm not an Azure AD tenant or administrator whatsoever, so I'm not too sure if this is normal, but that's what we found the flag for. So that would be the second flag for the second container. So let's take a look at the third container, which would be this one. We observed some sensitive information being shared over a Microsoft Teams message. Can you track it down? Okay, so Teams message. Let's see if there's anything related to Teams on here. Okay, we have Teams functions. All right, cool. We have get AAD into Teams messages. Let's see if we can get that and get more information based off of that. So int Teams messages. Let's see here. Oh, there's a flag right there. Super easy. Looks like there's only one message. I was expecting 20,000 messages coming in because I mean in my work company we use Teams like crazy, and there's so many things going on, right? So I'm assuming there'd be a lot more, but for CTF purposes, they didn't want to do that, so that's fine. All right, so that was the third one. Let's take a look at the fourth one. One of the users in the environment seems to have unintentionally left some information in their account details. Can you track down the president? Okay, so I'm copying that down. Has it unintentionally left some information in their account details? Okay, so it looks like we're looking down for account information. So let's see if there's something for accounts. There's get user int hash. Okay, let's try user instead, because I think user's gonna have a lot more. User manipulation. Get AAD int users. Okay, is there flags on this that we can use? Select. Okay, object ID. Let's try a couple of these. I don't know the immutable ID or the object ID. Let's try user principal name. Worst case scenario, I do know there's a PowerShell command called select string that we can try. I don't know if this Linux Docker container is going to actually know how to do that, but let's try the first part first. Oops. Int user dash user principal name the president. Oops, I don't know what I'm doing. AAD, right? Yeah. Okay, let's try this. We're going to use stars. Nothing. Okay. Nothing. So we're just playing around. And let's do select string. And we're going to say president. Let's see if that works. One more parameters issued cannot be used together. Okay, so that doesn't work. Let's just see what this does. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so that didn't work. Is there a way we could search for users? Users. Okay, that gives us enough. There's a title. Oh, there's a title. I'm trying to see if I can make select string work. We're gonna say presidents. Nothing. Okay. Interesting. I wonder if this works at all. Let me see. Director. It doesn't. Okay. Okay. There's the user principal name. Let's see if I can do a search by title. I'm going to do that real quick. Select title. And I'm going to say president. It doesn't. Okay. Fine. Oh, okay, so the output, okay, so let's do that. Select principal name. Oh, user principal name. Okay. I'm very rusty on this. All right, cool. So we have a bunch of user principal names. There's Hackney. And it's asking us for the director, or sorry, the president's. I'm really bummed that we can't use select string to find that. It's very limited. That's okay though. That's okay. I'm not doing new. I just wish we could search by that. What we could do, if I had a guess, is I can do immutable ID and maybe the flag's in there. So let's see that. I doubt it though. Just having a little fun with this, that's all. I can't believe title doesn't work. Oh, it does work. It does work. Okay. So president is right there. So to select a specific user, we're going to have to use principal name. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 up, 6 up, 6 up. Where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Patty. Okay, come here, Patty. Don't worry about that. I'm gonna get a whoops. AAD int user prints name. Perfect. President. We found the president. The president is secure. All right. Here's the flag. All right, cool. So that's the fourth flag and the final flag for M365. So my guess is that this is kind of just an introduction into cloud-based Azure, because Azure is going to probably replace everything AD-wise, or at least be super integrated into it. So cool. I think it was a cool learning lesson. That was actually the first time I did these challenges. I knew they weren't going to take that long, only because I'm familiar with Microsoft a little bit. Used to hold a MCSE for a little bit. Not that it matters anyways, because those certifications don't apply anymore, because now we need like Azure 104 or AZ 104, or whatever the acronyms are for the current certifications. But pretty cool to play around with. I thought it was very intricate and noteworthy design that they are running a PowerShell module within a Docker container. That's a pretty good achievement to have on a resume right there. So pretty cool. All right, let's go ahead and close this out because we're done with this. So we're going to go ahead and go to exit. Cool. All right. Exit. No, exit. Cool. So now we're going to do, I believe it's Land Before Time next. Yes. All right, so Land Before Time. So Land Before Time is an interesting one. And it pissed off a lot of people because they try to quickly, everybody's gunning for First Blood. And steganography in of its own can be interesting, and you can do many different ways to encode or even extract data out of pictures. But with that being said, it's not highly used in the world of cyber, specifically with actual hackers trying to change. They're not going to hide it in an image, because the image, let's just say there's going to be things that can be exported out of images when it comes to that. So let's start out with looking at the downloads first. So let's go ahead and open this up. I'm going to go ahead and transfer this over to, as you can see, my downloads folder is very clean now. Besides the two here, which I don't mind if you guys know that I'm playing around with random stuff on here. Let's go ahead and put this on here. Close that out. Where was it? Dinosaurs. There it is. So if we open this up, it's a dinosaurs picture, right? Don't mind the other pictures on the bottom. Those are from the other challenges as well. And we see here, this trick is nothing new. You know what to do. Ice Steg. Look for the tail that's older than time. This spike you shouldn't climb. So weird. This is from Pro Slasher. I know his CTFs are very tricky. If I didn't know any better, I would say that this might be a password. Now, when you do steganography on data inside of image, you can protect it with a password. So that could be a password, right? A lot of people firsthand did this first. Well, first off, let's go through our usual stuff. Let's go ahead and open the image here. We're going to find it here, right here. It's PNG, so it is a PNG, but there's no real hidden data that's human readable that we can extract out, right? So even if we did a search for a flag, it's not going to be there. So I already had can't find flag. So kind of useless information. Let's bring up our Kali Linux here real quick, because I like using Kali better than other tools for that, right? So we're going to go ahead and go back in here. Let's see here. Do I actually have it in here? I think it's still in my downloads folder. So let me see. Oops. I'm going to go to downloads. Come on. There it is. Okay, so we're going to move dinosaurs PNG into Huntress. We'll just leave it there. So, because we're just going to kind of take a look at it. All right. So if we do strings for dinosaurs, oops, can't spell. There's a lot of random strings. We're probably not going to find anything super interesting. Let's see here. Yeah, a lot of strings. Okay, so let's go through the repertoire of tools that people will use. So like sometimes we'll use something like steg hide, and we click on enter with that. We could do an extract. So let's see if we can do -s extract, and we're going to do dinosaurs, right? And then do we need an out file? Let me see here. No. And I'm using the wrong one. Okay, so let's do steg hide extract. Let's just do a standard extract and see what happens. I know an argument. What's going on here? I guess we do need SF stego file. Yep. All right, SF enter passphrase. So we're not going to enter one. Let's see what happens. Not supported. So PNG is not supported. Let's go and open up Firefox real quick, and we're going to go to Hacks Tricks. I do like Hacks Tricks because they have a nice database repository of tricks to do when it comes to certain things. So let's go and search for stego tricks. So let's go to this page real quick. All right, so there's a couple things you could do, right? You can use binwalk, foremost, exif. So let's try exif, right? Let's see here, exif tool, and we're going to go ahead and do dinosaurs PNG. Okay, so if we do this, there's not much information coming out. There's almost nothing coming out of this stuff. So we're stuck. We got to keep going. Strings, CMP, hidden data and text. Let's keep going. Here we go. Steg hide. So steg hide is only available for PNG. However, doesn't work for PNG, I should say. But we do have zsteg, and this is one of the things that I try to work on myself because it technically is possible to pull this information out. But it requires some finesse, and I'm just not an expert at this. But let's go ahead and use zsteg. So let's just do -e, or actually let's just do zsteg, right? So dinosaurs, right? And there's some weird information on here. This is not exactly incorrect or right. What's happening is that when you do a zsteg by itself on a file, it's just going to do a very basic kind of overpass to find certain information. It doesn't necessarily mean that this information is correct. It just means that it pulled certain things and it's probably related to something, right? And the thing about zsteg is that it's not going to extract files, because you can actually hide files inside images. You just have to encodify it correctly, but it's not going to pull them out with you unless you use the -e, so -E specifically. So let's go ahead and do that. -E. Oh, not here. Yeah, that's what it should be. Oh wait, I think I forgot an additional thing. Okay, so A. We're gonna use A. My bad. So let's go ahead and do A. So what this does is that it tries to guess everything possible on what's hidden inside this file. And we can see there is quite a lot of data in here. And this isn't normal either. Like most images, normal images, are not going to have this much data attached to it this way. And we see that like in certain, and what these are locations, specific locations on the image that it's looking at, and it's extracting possible specific data. And I'll show you what that means on the other way that I found this file, or the flag. But there are certain things we can try to pull. One second. Excuse me. And here we're going to try to pull this. So let's try pulling this, because this is a long strip of information. I'm just going to try to pull it. because I think I pulled a couple of things and it just didn't work. But let's go ahead and scroll all the way to, or go back to the bottom here. We're going to do a -E, and then we're going to paste this selection. Oh, excuse me. Got a little tickle in my throat. All right. So we extracted this information. It's not saved as anything, but it attempted to redraw data from the specific location that we gave it, and it looks like garbage. So let's try something else here. So, and this is the problem that I kept running into, is that any one of these could possibly be the flag. And it could take some time, and there's probably some ways you can curate the data to find the flag. We're not going to do that. The way to do it specifically, and a lot of people got confused on this, is not available in Hackstrix. In fact, it's actually only available from this GitHub. So this GitHub repo has something called iSteg. If you remember in the challenge, and I'll bring up the challenge here again, wherever it is. Where is it? Maybe before time. It says, you know what to do, iSteg. It's highlighted. So that's kind of the reason why it's rated easy, is because, again, you just kind of have to follow the instructions and find this GitHub. And the GitHub's right here, right? And it's a jar program, which is, I found very interesting, but it works pretty well, especially on Linux. So let's go ahead and bring this back up. We're going to go ahead and clear this. Okay, and we already have the folder extracted in iSteg version 2, right? So let's do iSteg v2. Okay, so we have a jar, and it tells us to run, what was it, Java? Oh, there it is. So anyways, so we're going to run the jar file, and we're going to say number 3, and we're going to enter the file name with the extension. So let's do, is it, so home / Jerry / let's take a look at Huntress, yeah, Huntress CTF 2023 /dinosaurs1.png. Okay, it's going to ask if there's a password. We don't think there's a password, so you enter, bam, there's a message. It's the only thing that it pulls out for you. And that is, before people throw the TIFF, it is the actual flag. So the way I can prove that was that if you see on my screen, there's something called a Perry solve, right? I found this first, right? So I'm going to go ahead and show you what that flag is. It's right there. So the flag is there. But you'll also know there is a bunch of random data on here. So how does this work? So if we go here, and what it does, it's an online platform, and it uses a bunch of tools together for you. So it's an automation to kind of pull as much data as possible. And most people did try to do this. Like, well, they'll go here, and then they'll go into, let's see here, this one, and they'll upload this, right? And they'll click submit. And that's all they've done. And they'll look at this and say, oh, look, there's the flag right there. Not the real flag. There's the flag right there, not the real flag. In fact, I think if you see this right here, if you actually change this over, I think it's laughing at you. So let's go to CyberChef. We're going to convert this from base64. You actually thought, not going to lie, it's funny, LOL. That's pretty on par with ProSlasher. He likes to trick people. It says here you'll find the flag. I'm johnhannon.png. There's a lot of data attached to this, right? But if you keep scrolling to the bottom, the flag is going to be on the bottom. And a couple of things, I think what it is that I have hashed cookies, cached cookies. I think a lot of people forget these options down here. Test all options of zsteg/all, extract zsteg files. And so if you hit that, it's going to extract everything it has for you, right? And even has all the different other stored information. So it was encoded, and you can see that the way this looks is that it checks all the different variants of the file itself to find this, right? And then it also has your zsteg right here, which is we've seen some of that. Has steg hide, outguess, even has exif. So this tool is a pretty neat tool to use from the get-go. It makes it a lot faster, a lot easier to figure out what's hidden. But if you really want to be finesse, it required just kind of paying attention to the little hint that we have, which is to use iSteg, and we have a GitHub to download, and it pulled the flag like that. So a little frustrating for some people, because a lot of people, they usually are just automated on their tool sets. They'll see something and they'll immediately go stego, right, steganography, and they're not wrong, but everybody has a specific tool that they use, and they'll stick to it. A lot of people try to use steghag from the get-go. Didn't work because it was a PNG. They didn't know other tools, or they tried zsteg and they didn't know how to use it. Like myself, I didn't know how to extract the specific file using zsteg, but it was there. And those are the two main ways that I solved it. Is I used the GitHub first, and then I used the website to verify that information was correct. So that was Land Before Time. Other than that, this turned out to be a 4-minute video. I'm going to try to keep these less than an hour. As stated previously, I'm still working on other videos. The next video will be, let's bring this up, video 11, so Snake Eater. Like I stated, it is coming out. I know I promised over and over again. The issue is, it's just I'm trying to provide with you guys multiple ways to solve this challenge. The static one is I'm currently working on right now is kind of beating me, but I might just abandon it because it's not really necessary to solve it to find the flag. I'll probably just kind of go over the two other ways, which is the dynamic analysis, which is not really that dynamic. It's just utilizing the right tools to find what you're supposed to find, and then the web way, which is kind of, in my opinion, the cheating way, but we'll get into that. So, and then we'll go over indirect payload from the next video, and then into the next video. So hopefully you guys find most of this instructing helpful, so that way you guys can kind of understand how to do these challenges, and hopefully to see you next time on the next video. Until then, I will see you guys later.